There's only one semifinal spot remaining on the Sports IQ Showdown's ultimate NFL trivia bracket, and two competitors are going head-to-head in this NFL Trivia Showdown to see if they can claim it, and it's a big one. It is CEO of the Hammer Betting Network, Rob Pizzola, the 8th seed, going up against the number 1 seed in the bracket, Eric Eager. Let's see who can claim that spot. But if you enjoyed this show along the way, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for Sports IQ Showdown shows just like this every single Friday. But now it's time to meet the players. It's Rob Pizzola in the top right of the screen. It's Eric Eager underneath myself, Jacob, and I'm very excited for our final quarterfinal matchup here. Rob, you started off the quarterfinals here. You've been delaying this one a little bit. You started off a little bit unconfident, saying that you're going to get throttled in this matchup, but the further we go, the longer we go, you seem to get a little bit more confident, think you can actually take this one down and move on to the semifinals. What's your confidence like at the time of recording here?
Well, I certainly think I can win. Like, if it was myself against Eric in standard NFL trivia, where it was just, here's the question, here's the answer, I would get smoked. But there's like some logic to this, right? You can kind of game your way to finding the correct answer. So I'm a little bit hopeful from that point of view. I just don't want to be the guy that embarrasses himself. I don't want to be the Jason Cooper here, David Onyemata special.
David Onyemata.
David Onyemata. It's the 25th seed.
I don't want that to happen. So, you know, already Eric's off to a good start tonight because he picked a 9 a.m. recording time, which is like, this is the first time I've been up at this time in a very long time. So advantage Eric in the early going here.
And to Eric, you are the 1 seed after all. However, you've had to wait a very, very long time in between your matchup with Zach, which was the first out of all the Sports IQ bracket trivia shows we had. So how are you feeling ahead of this one against Rob?
Yeah, it's a true rest versus rust question for sure for me. It's funny that Rob says 9 a.m. is like an advantage for me because I feel like I actually think it like levels the playing field. This is like rain, you know, or snow that like maybe has shrunken the point spread a little bit. So I'm optimistic, but I know Rob is a formidable foe here. So.
And we have a matchup with Hitman on the line here in that semifinal. That semifinal, we're going to be increasing the amount of possible answers to 8 each for our players. But as we have it for today, it's going to be once again 4 answers each. Let's get to the very first quiz that we have. And it is one of the new quizzes on draftparty.net. You can play along with any of these quizzes on draftparty.net. It's linked in the description. Quizzes that are not just for NFL, but for all sports and other topics you may have interest in. The first question is most receiving yards in the first 100 regular season games of their careers. So there's 25 possible answers here, not necessarily the top 25. The better your answer is, the more points you rack up. You want to get the most points to win. This is the first of the 3 possible quizzes. If you win 2 out of 3, obviously you advance to the semi-final against Hitman. So we've had a bit of time to look here. It's a snake draft format. Rob is going first, and Eric will have 2 consecutive picks before Rob eventually will be the closing pick. So Rob, you've had a second to look here. Are you prepared to make your first answer?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is there's going to be some gamesmanship here. And slow it down. I'm not going to be forced into making bad answers here because the host said, Rob, you got to pick right away. So I think I know what I'm going to do here. I think I have to think it over a little bit more. There's so much pressure, man. I cannot handle the pressure of these things.
You got a Hall of Famer on the board in Tim Brown there. Odell.
That's where I'm thinking I'm going. That's where I'm thinking I'm going. Oh my God, I have no idea. This is where the excuses are coming in. I wouldn't want the first pick. It's probably not number 1, but I think I gotta go safe here. I think I gotta go safe and go with Terrell Owens.
All right, Terrell Owens, first selection by Rob. Will it cripple him out the gate? Terrell Owens is 4th, so absolutely not. 4th is very suitable for this quiz, but we'll see if Eric Eager can take advantage with back-to-back selections.
Not a bad one. I would have thought of Owens as well. Owens is a rookie here. I only think had like 500 yards, which I think is going to separate him from some that I'll take. There's some really good ones, though. So I'm going to go, at least initially, with OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay, Odell as Eric's first pick, and that is the best available, 7.5K yards.
You have to be kidding me. That is impossible.
What a start for Eric, and another pick coming up.
Michael Crabtree, I'm not picking, but he had an Achilles during that time, so missed and kind of petered off. All right, Brandon Marshall.
Okay, Brandon Marshall as Eric's second pick is third seed. So 2 very solid offerings there, 23 points, and now Rob has to play a little bit of catch up.
I know one I'm gonna take, and then the other one might be I might have brain damage if I do it, but I think I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm gonna take Des Bryant.
Des Bryant, I like it. Des Bryant, let's see if it's good. Des Bryant's number 5, so that's fine. You needed to find the 5 anyways. Now you have the chance to find number 2 as well.
The thing is, I know this guy can't be 2, but I think he's high. All right, we'll call this the brain damage pick of the millennium. I'm coming for you, Jason Cooper. Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey. Rob's
That's actually a good one, Rob.
Pick. All right. The Eric Eager potential seal of approval. Alshon Jeffrey, number 6. Okay, so you're doing fine. You're doing fine here. Number 6.
Okay.
You're not getting embarrassed.
I think I have a really good one here. There's a galaxy brain level to this. I'm a Minnesota kid. This is a Minnesota kid, Litchfield, Minnesota. Well, hold on.
I mean, how am I going to compete with the guy naming off towns?
Because he had the 1 year with Tebow, and then he had all those Peyton Manning years, and then he had the 1 Jets year where he was really good. But this is a player who I think he's the first player in NFL history to have 1,000 yards for 4 different teams. Brandon Cooks.
Okay,
I was going to go
Brandon Cooks. If you find the 10th seed or better, you will be leading into the last pick. Brandon Cooks is the 7th seed. So number 2 is still out there. And that could be whoever finds that would end up being the winner. So Eric could wrap it up here with his final pick if he finds a 2 seed.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive, though.
Ike Hilliard's such a good one, but I'm not going with Ike Hilliard. Okay, I'm going to do this. Eric Decker.
Okay, Eric Decker. If this is the 2 seed, Eric wraps up quiz number 1. If it's not the 2 seed, Rob stays alive. Eric Decker, where does he end up on the list? He is the 13th seed.
Wow.
So a bit further down the board, 13 points there. That gives Rob the chance to find, Rob, you can actually find the 8th seed and still win this quiz. So
I need
more wiggle room associated. 8 or 2 you need. 9 would tie it. So you can go 9 or better to not lose this.
Okay. Talking it out loud here. I don't think I'm going to take any of the last 3. Oh my God. Can I do a tight end? Is that extreme brain damage if I do a tight end? Like Jimmy Graham had a ton in his early career. Like he's definitely over 6,000. Is over 6,000 good enough for number 9? Why the pressure? There's so much pressure, guys.
You have a chance here. You need to get this one. This is your 4th down. This is your 4th down play when the spread is not in your favor.
I don't know who could be number 2. I honestly have no clue. Did another galaxy brain damage like Marquez Colston. For some reason, I'm thinking he had a ton of yardage early in his career. He stands out to me as a guy that maybe did it. I got to find number 9 or better, you said, Jacob?
Yeah. 9 would be a tie for the first quiz.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Jimmy Graham.
Okay, Jimmy Graham. Is this the big brain play from Rob Pizzola to snatch round number 1? Jimmy Graham is the 10 seed just outside the window that he needed. Eric ekes it out by 1 point.
It was Colston. Oh my God, it was
Marcus Colston.
Jesus Christ.
Marcus Colston.
Man, I never.
Mike Wallace. I was gonna pick Lavernius Coles next if I would have had one. Oh.
What was Jimmy Graham's yard? He had 6,100. I thought maybe 6,000 would get me there. My instinct was right with Colston. Oh my god.
I mean, Jimmy Graham is right on the edge, though. He's also at 6.1, as is Coles and Wallace. It's just a slightly less, but
Rob, you had a chance there. I kind of fucked that up a little bit.
Those are the margins we operate with here on the Sports IQ Showdown. All right, let's go to our next quiz. This one is in pretty similar vein here. We're going to 50 regular season games, but it is the most passing yards in the first 50 regular season games of their careers. So somewhat similar, but this is obviously completely different in terms of the player pool we have associated. Rob, once again, you are afforded the chance to select first. Of course, you may take your time with this one as well.
I also don't want to be first here because I have a feeling that this is a possible trick question. So obviously the one that's going to stand out on this list is Peyton Manning, but Peyton Manning's first regular season was pretty horrific. And this is first 50 games. I'm just trying to think of who else it can be other than Peyton Manning. It's a safe play. I'm going to go with Peyton Manning.
All right, Peyton Manning. Rob's first selection. Peyton Manning is number 3. So you did fine. Third on the list.
This 3 is no good against Eric. He's going to dump truck 1-2 right now.
Yeah, so the sneaky one is Drew Bledsoe because he threw like 700 passes his second year in the NFL, and he started a lot of games his first few years. But the one I'm going to go with first is Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
I was thinking Kurt Warner as well. So let's see where Kurt Warner ends up. And he's number 2 on the list.
Okay, so I have to actually put in some work here. So the sneaky one is Sam Bradford, who I believe set a record for most yards by a rookie quarterback, but fizzled a little bit at the end. Stafford's another one because you count games, and so his first few years he was injured, but his third year he threw for like 5,000 yards. Mm-hmm. So that's one.
Derek Anderson not calling your name over there?
No, but not a bad. Had moans though, as we say. I think it's going to be Matthew Stafford.
All right.
God, I wanted Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford. Was it the right pick? Yes, the first seed, Matthew Stafford. 25 points.
This guy is too much. That was the one that I was saying I think is a risky pick. I just didn't really know. Now Eric talked through a lot of things, gave away a lot of information, which is important for me in this one.
So there's a few. Misleading you though? Was he?
No, I definitely don't think so. So Drew Bledsoe is going to be one.
Okay, Drew Bledsoe.
Good pick.
4 seed, best available. Well done.
Okay, so now I have to get the best available of the rest here. Drew Bledsoe was at 12K. Bradford must have hit 11. Yeah, Sam Bradford.
All right, Sam Bradford. Keep Rob Pizzola in the hunt. The 8 seed.
No.
A little bit lower, so you were right. He's 11.4K, but there are 3 quarterbacks in between. So Eric with 2 selections left is down by 14.
Okay, so that's Rob's last one. Rob gets one more or no?
I get one more. Yeah, I don't know if I will get one more at this point.
Let's do Trent Green.
Trent Green.
This is a failure. I gotta hope for bad.
You do need to hope for some poor picks. Trent Green, though, is 7th. So it's 2 better ones than that. 19 points does put Eric in the lead by 5.
Trent Green threw for 3,400 yards as a member of the Washington football team in his first year sneakily. That was a big year for him.
It's time to make this interesting, Eric. You want to pluck that 14 seed, make it interesting.
So if my math is correct, the 11 seed would give Eric 15 points. That is what, Rob, you would need to have a chance to win. If he finds the 10 seed worth 16 points, you could tie with the best available selection. So you'll need 11th or worse here.
Yeah. Just don't do it to me with a guy like Mitch Trubisky or Sam Darnold. I don't want to lose.
Well, I mean, we're the sneaky one, because he had a big year one year early, and no one thought he was any good. I could get that, but I think like Breeze, I feel like is somebody who, but those early years in San Diego weren't great. 01. He was a 02, 03, 04. 04 includes a really good year by Breeze. So does 02. Yeah, I'm just going to try to get on the green here. Drew Brees.
All right, Drew Brees. The 10 seed or better likely locks this one up and sends you to the semifinal. Drew Brees is the 13th seed.
Oh,
okay.
baby.
We've got a quiz here. 13 points.
Okay.
That puts Eric up by 18 points. So, Rob, you can get either the 5th or 6th seed now and win this quiz, but only those two.
5th or 6th seed. It's between 3 people for me. I'll speak aloud here. So the 3 I'm thinking are Andy Dalton, Randall Cunningham, and Sam Darnold. You think one of these is in there, Eric? 5 or 6? One of these QBs I'm naming? It's got to be, right? It's got to be.
This is tense.
You know what? This guy's lost me so much money in my life. Why not one more time? Andy Dalton.
Okay. Andy Dalton.
The Cowboys.
A 5 or 6 seed ensures that Rob survives and we have a do or die third leg.
I think you have it, Rob. I think you have it.
5 or 6. Number 6. Andy Dalton comes through in the clutch. Rob wins by 2 points.
It was Blake Bortles. Wow.
Yeah, I thought through Bortles too.
Darnold I would have lost though, right? And Cunningham? Yeah, yes. Cunningham
his first year was off the bench quarterback, interestingly. So that was a trap.
Early career Dalton, man. He was slinging it.
Look at you, Rob. You're doing it. It's
know what?
Do or die.
Everything now on top of this is just gravy. Pressure's off me, solely on Eric. He's feeling it. I know he's feeling it.
All right, let's go to the third.
Rob is +1 in point differential right now, so
it's irrelevant.
He's got me.
This isn't the in-season tournament, so we're good. It's all about just winning the last quiz here. Hardest quiz we have, in my opinion. I'm not sure for these guys who are more in tune with stats like this, but which player had the highest career rush success rate through the 2022 season? Criteria being 40% on first down, 60% on second, and 100% on third and fourth down of yards required on those downs. Rob, for the first time in the entire bracket, you have all 3 first selections.
Wow. Is there some sort of collusion that I'm going to be accused of at some point or something like that?
Oof. That's going to look bad. My boss gets the first for all 3 quizzes. There's going to be some questions about that if Rob pushes it to 3. We shall see.
So we have a quarterback on the list, a couple quarterbacks, which makes things, but the problem is one of them is the quarterback with the tush push. And I don't know how, well, that's 4th. He does get the required yards. There's one that I know for certain is very high in rushing success rate because he's talked about pretty regularly in terms of like, why can't this guy ever keep the number 1 spot? There's always like a running back that comes in and takes it from him. It's my first instinct. It's my gut. I'm going to go with it. I'm going Gus Edwards.
All right. We're going to Gus Edwards. Honestly, I have no idea if you guys don't do well in this.
This is up my alley. This one's up my alley. I look at success rates all the time. So
that's
Gus Edwards is high.
For both of you. All right. Gus Edwards is second on the list. All right. Great start for Pizzola.
Wow. Good job,
Eric
Rob.
Fine, number 1, though.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm in the meat grinder here. I might lose.
One answer.
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Could have an issue with kneel downs, though.
Dang. Number 1 seed, Jalen Hurts, the tush push.
That tush push play, it's bad for the sport. It should not be allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
25 points. Wonderful.
It's got to be a guy who flamed out quickly as well, right?
Yeah. Smaller sample.
Smaller sample size. You know what? I'm going to go with a quarterback who has some athleticism to him as well, Jeff Blake.
Okay. Jeff Blake is 13th seed. Okay.
What was the percentage on that?
47.8. Rob, in the driver's seat to go to the semifinals.
No, this is a really, really tough one. Oh my God, man. I'm now at a loss.
This is up my alley. This one's up my alley. I look at success rates all the time.
Oh, I just don't want to end up with that terrible pick. We gotta trust the gut sometimes. I'm on green.
I'm on green. Playing a part in back-to-back quizzes. I'm on green. There's the bomb. The absolute bomb. 22nd ranked, only 4 points. Oh, there's a prime chance, Rob. What happened?
Rob, you're probably using what? The EPA version, which is a little different. And so
it's slightly different.
Yeah.
This is like the football reference one, I think.
Is it?
Oh, that really put me in a bad spot because I have no idea now, and I was just trying to postpone and try to get some information out of Eric as best as possible, and he doesn't seem to really have a clue here either, which makes it even.
I'm a privilege here for sure.
This is a bad lit. Like, there's no one that's going to be. Who else is above like 50% here?
I have 2 that I like that are sneaky that I'm going to use, and I'm going to ride or die with them. I'm wondering if Rob, if you think the same with me.
Like, Brandon Jacobs was a short yardage back, but he sucked on early down. Oh, I'm just talking way too much.
Go with your gut.
My gut was Cam Akers. He's had some wide success rate years. It got me this far with a horrible pick, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Cam Akers.
All right, Cam Akers. Gonna get Pizzola back in the hunt. 18 points for the 8 seed. That's solid. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, there are 2 guys. Here. 2 guys that I like, shortish careers, underratedly efficient. Chris Carson.
Okay, Chris Carson, first pick from Eric. Oh, that's the big one. 22 points, 4 seed, Chris Carson. That puts Eric up by 14 with 1 pick remaining each. Okay.
The second one, and Rob mentioned this guy, and I got nervous. Short career, efficient as hell, and in a backup role to Tiki Barber early, so he was averaging like 5.5 yards a carry, and then had like 1 or 2 years where he kind of declined in efficiency, but they got rid of him so fast that he couldn't have the Arian Foster end or whatever. Brandon Jacobs.
All right, 16th seed or better would get Eric the win and send him to the semifinals. He's putting his faith in a New York Giants running back. Brandon Jacobs is the 8 seed as well, which is more than enough for Eric to move on. Rob, we'll get your final pick here. Just somebody you want to see.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let me just see Leonard Fournette. Let me see Leonard Fournette. I'm just curious.
16th seed. But Eric, you're doing enough here. Was it the prettiest of final rounds?
It was a sweat, for sure. That was a sweat.
But it's A.J. Dillon who was the best available.
Okay.
Reminder, so before this season.
I would never have guessed A.J. Dillon.
Back.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't meant to be. I was not going A.J. Dillon. I was not going Zach Crockett. I was not going Jamal Williams.
I would say I got lucky in this matchup for sure. Rob, you came to play.
I want a rematch so bad.
To be fair, first 2 quizzes were quite impressive overall. They were maybe a little bit more difficult, but we'll see how other players react to this, and we'll see specifically how Hitman reacts, because Eric Ear, you are moving on to the semifinal to take on Hitman. The other semifinal is going to be TA and George Sulfidis. So the 1 seed, the 2 seed, the 3 seed, and the 5 seed remain in the semifinals. Rob, you can pat yourself on the back as part of the selection committee for getting this one so right, but we'll go to you first of all. Where did it go wrong today?
Here's what really chaps my ass looking at that bracket is I already know I'm going to hear it from Hitman, from Cleve, from George. We're the semifinalists. I put in I'm pretty proud of myself. I put in a valiant effort. I believe that if I had faced someone else today, I would be through. I believe if I had faced anyone else today, I would be through. So I'm not in a good spot. I'm gonna maybe add some Baileys to the morning coffee, and we'll see what this where this day takes me at this
Well,
point.
one day, maybe we get to see Rob against one of these other opponents, but Eric actually has the opportunity against Hitman. What's your confidence level like going up against Hitman in that semifinal where the variance is decreased with more answers available? It's going to be 8 answers instead of 4.
Yeah, I mean, that helps. I think I was worried that if you look at the list on that last answer, it was like good running backs at the bottom, Zach Crockett's at the beginning. So when I saw that question, I'm like, well, shoot, this is a coin flip now. So I'm confident, but I don't know Hitman all that well personally, right? So Rob, you and I are on that stream, so I know that you're sharp at basically everything. So I knew I had to come to play today. I'll probably have to come to play against Hitman. So
I agree. These will be some interesting semifinals we have here on the Hammer HQ channel, Sports IQ Showdown. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of these quizzes every Friday at 1 p.m. And we'll try to make sure that final goes live on this channel, so you don't want to miss out. Smash that like button if you enjoyed as well. Tell a friend who may want to see these Sports IQ Showdowns, and visit draftparty.net to try these quizzes out for yourself. We will see you again next week.